Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Coach to Transformations Communities of Practice Team Coaching Series. Our Communities of Practice is a learning space designed for coaches to come together, exchange experiences, experience real world leadership dynamics, and deepen their understanding of coaching approaches that support conscious, human centered leadership. I'm Chaitanya, your host for today's session, and I'm delighted to welcome Madhuri Kale, who is an ICF PCC, ICF ACTC, and a mentor coach. So, welcome, Madhuri. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Chaitanya. I can see some of you on video. Would love to see everybody come on camera. Hi, Poonam. Nice to see you. Whenever you can, I can see some note takers, which will not be able to contribute, but would love to see everyone. As you heard Chaitanya saying, this is a community of practice. So we are all here to practice. That is the whole idea. The reason this community of practice was created is that each one of us keeps learning outside or when we are in classroom we are forced to learn, but other than that we read up something new around coaching, or we come across something which is really interesting, and this is the space to bring it up and share it with everybody. So that's the idea of communities of practice. We have a team coaching community of practice. We have a community of practice on books on coaching, as well as we have something on leadership or executive coaching. So if any of you want to join any of these, please keep a watch out or a lookout. There is always an announcement coming up like today. All right. So as we begin, I invite everybody to do a short grounding exercise. So please, wherever you are, sit comfortably. Make sure that all distractions are put away for yourself. Just take a moment um, to arrive fully into this space. Sit comfortably with both feet touching the ground if that's possible. Feel the ground and take one slow breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. Your eyes are still might be open, then just notice what you see around you. Maybe some colors, maybe some interesting shapes, some light entering the room, or some movement around you. Now gently close your eyes and bring your attention to what you can hear. Some sounds around you, some sounds far away, and the silence in between. Notice your breath. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice any kind of smell in the space, even if it is a bit subtle. Feel the contact of your body with the chair that you're sitting on or on the floor. How does that floor or chair feel like? Is it too hard? Is it soft? Take a deep breath in one more time and out. One last time, take a deep breath in and out. Gently rub your palms against each other. Put them on your eyes. Feel the warmth of your arms on your face and neck, and gently open your eyes. One question for everybody. How are you arriving today? And you can put it in the chat box. How are you arriving today? Or one word that describes how you're arriving today. I can see a lot of curious, calm, thank you, committed, open. Very nice. Just in time. Okay, Nidhi. Welcome, welcome. Enthusiastic. Very nice. Expectant. Okay, wondering, grounded. Very nice, very nice. Keep it coming, and we can use the chat box throughout this session. Friends, we are here to talk about team coaching, and the first exercise was about how you arrive and your presence as a coach. As much as presence as a coach in an individual space is important, it gets much more complex when you are in a team setting, isn't it? Because now you are looking at various emotions at play within the team. You're looking at various team dynamics. What's happening? Somebody rolling their eyes, somebody talking when someone is presenting something, someone giving a slightly different smile when a comment is made. And you are there as a team coach, absorbing everything that is happening around you. And while you are absorbing all this and while you are there, you are going to be present. And you're not part of the team, but you're present. You're observing, but not judging. And that is the presence of a team coach. So we're going to talk about how ICF describes maintains presence as far as team coaching is concerned. And there was a very interesting book and a model that I came across while exploring Gestalt. And I brought that in, and we'll all explore that model together and see what comes in and how can we look at it as a team coach. All right, so that is the plan. I just want to check in if everybody is okay with this and okay to proceed on maintains presence. You can give me a thumbs up if you're okay. All right, thank you. Got that. Anybody who is new to coaching as well, you're always welcome. Don't worry about it. This is still a coaching space. I know there are quite a few team coaches here and some new coaches. So just want to see how many are existing team coaches here? If you could just give a thumbs up, please. Deepak, yes. Madhavi, thank you. Thank you. Jacques, yes. All right. Okay. All right. So all the team coaches, you're going to help out. Charles, yes, obviously. So all of us are going to support to interpret what the ICF team coaching maintains presence means for everyone. All right. So here it goes. I'm going to share screen. Please let me know if my screen is visible. Now, systemic team coaching is by itself quite a complex process and requires a lot of skills. Are you able to see the screen? Full screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So we do require a lot of sensory understanding as a coach. And one of the most important competencies for me over here is maintains presence. Because as you arrive into any space or any team, or as you start talking to any team, there are things that get activated within you, isn't it? How many of you have noticed this? That you walk into a room and you start feeling tightness in your body, or you generally start smiling, for example. How many of you have noticed this? Any other feeling that you noticed as you walked into any room? Okay, you can use the chat box, open mic and speak. That's totally fine. But this is what I have noticed. If I walk into a room, there is one team particularly. I walk in with that team or into that team meeting, and I'm always smiling. I don't know why, but I'm always smiling looking at each person in that room. And I kept asking, wondering, why is that? And feeling that lightness when I'm with this team. Similarly, you might experience a varied sensory feeling when you are with teams, and that is something that ICF also invites you to look at. What is that feeling? So, systemic team coaching is also being in maintains presence, it is being aware. So, fully and consciously being present with the client, using a style which is open, grounded, and confident. So, even if you have all these feelings, are you being present for the service of this client while you're putting all those judgments aside? Okay, so that is what maintains presence means over here. Let's look at each of the sub competencies that are described. Uses one's full range of sensory and perceptual abilities to focus on what is important for the coaching process. Okay, now what that ICF has described it as is, whether it is the tightness in on your shoulders, whether it is that smile that you're feeling, be aware as a coach. What is it that you're feeling, right? uh, Uses a co-coach, and this is where all the biases that we carry or may have or might have, those judgments, will the co-coach will be there to support us. So in any team coaching space, it's always great to have a co-coach, which will help you to allow the team coach to be fully present. Now, there are times when I'm always asked by team coaches that how can I be present? How can I also write down what I'm noticing? And how can I also, kind of keep track of what has happened with the team? And that is where a co-coach plays an important role. So, a co-coach will help you to also observe certain dynamics if you are the coach who is presenting something, or you are the coach who is facilitating a discussion, for example. So these are some of the areas where a coach and co-coach work in tandem. And here there is no lead coach or assistant coach. Both are team coaches at the same level, which means both need to maintain presence. All right. So that is how I interpret maintains presence 5.2. That is also modeling that team behavior between the coach and the co-coach, where you both are open, flexible, who are working in tandem with each other as a team, right? So, all of that. I can see some messages have come in. Yes, some feelings do arrive, don't they? So, the first two points, any thoughts, anything coming up for anybody before we move forward? 5.1 and 5.2, just checking in terms of co coach or using your sensory. uh, yes, I'm not able to see the chat yet. Yes, Madhavi.
Yeah, I think apart from what you said,
Mm,
Madhuri, like you said, observe yourself as a coach,
mm,
observe what's going on in your body, in your mind, in your emotional state while you enter a room, and as we are in the room during
mm.
coaching. I think it also means that we are observing the room,
Oh, yes.
observing the teams of what's going on with them, and not just with my eyes but with my ears and with my senses, all my senses. So I'm sensorily open to what's going on in the room, with the emotions of people, with their behaviors and everything around. I think it combines both.
Bang on, Madhavi. So that's the full range. That's the use of the full range of sensory organs, isn't it? Of our and looking at what is happening with the team as well. Very nice. What else? What else comes up for you as you look at the co-coach, for example? I know there has been a lot of discussion around co-coaching during our classes, but just checking in for everyone. How
As
do you view the co-coach? Yes, Madhavi, go ahead.
there has to be a lot of coordination and understanding between both the coaches, so that it doesn't turn into any conflict between the two, and then there should be an understanding where they are able to understand each other's cues and behaviors
Yeah,
during coaching. And that understanding
absolutely.
is very important.
Yeah. And while that is happening, do you also have that when Madhavi understanding, what a beautiful word that is, and understanding means that there is no space for any personal egos, personal, who is a better coach. There is no comparison. So you both are there together for the service of that client. And that is the most important part, where a coach and co-coach can demonstrate or model the team behavior. Very nice. Look at point number 3, 5.3 encourages team members to pause and reflect on how they are interacting as a team. Suppose, yes, Nidhi, I see your mic off. Yep.
Yeah, so hi Madhuri, and I think I can say one thing for sure, you're fully present because the moment it took only 2 seconds for you to see when my mic was off. So, all right. I wanted to just talk a bit about when you say team coaching, what do you qualify as team coaching? Because does it include people from the same organization, or does it include different people from different organizations and the topic is the same for coaching? Is there any typical definition of team coaching?
Okay, let's look at what a team is. A team consists of a group of members who report to the same leader. So the leader and the group of members consist of a team. Okay, and team coaching is something that we will provide as a service to this entire team. And I will not even call it a service, I'll call it a partnering process. Okay, where you are going to ensure that this team's potential is amplified or enhanced, which means whatever it is that they are working towards, whether it is a goal, whether it is a project, whether it is something that they want to achieve together. So there has to be a common vision and a goal that the team is achieving together. That is where the team coaching comes in. As a process, it will include multiple things, Nidhi. It will include a bit of facilitation, it will include goal setting, it will include some bit of you sitting in and observing the team when they are having meetings. Then possibly a skill development where you'll have to call in somebody else. For the entire process, as a team coach, you would be present and partner them to look at what came up for them. How can each team member work collectively towards that common goal? What needs to change within their team dynamics? What needs, if there is conflict, then you are also there. So various reasons. We had done a very nice webinar on 7 scenarios where team coaching is at play. You can take a look at that. But just checking in, does that support you for now?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, got that. Okay. So I straight away jumped into today's webinar and maintains presence, because that is, for me, is the most important and crucial competency which all of us carry as team coaches. And encouraging, that pause, creating that pause when required. The entire team is moving towards a goal, and then you suddenly observe that one such member is not ready to move on. Do you have that ability to pause everybody and invite reflections and check in? Do they really want to move ahead? Do they want to change anything in the journey? What needs to happen? So that is also one more area where team coaches will display or will embody maintains presence. So being aware, fully aware, to ensure everybody is collectively moving towards that goal. The last one, which is the most important one, which is moves in and out of the team dialogue. Now, most of the times we interpret it as I have to own that dialogue. I have to, drive the entire discussion. But that is not it. It is actually to ensure that the team is self-sufficient. The team is able to drive that dialogue. So are you able to be present there and ensure that whenever you see observations, note those observations and share it with them? And today, looking at this maintains presence, what I thought is that let's bring in a very nice map that was developed by John Leary Joyce, I happened to attend his Gestalt workshop in Singapore, and I thought it was a great technique to be present with the team. So that's what I have brought in, and I think it supports coaches, team coaches, to be fully aware of their sensory experiences and share it with the team so that it is of service to that team. So under maintains presence, connecting this to that to John Leary's model, what we will be focusing on is how can a team coach notice more, pause for the team, move in and out, and also use co-coaching. Okay, so these are broadly the four top headlines that we are going to focus on. All right, everybody with me? You can give me a thumbs up. Okay. I'm very happy to introduce this facilitation map. It is like this. It is a drawing. It is part of systemic team coaching, which is written by John Leary Joyce. He is also the author of Fertile Void. It's a Gestalt therapy that he also teaches. He has been a psychologist for many years. The whole focus is, as a team coach, you are present with the team. And then how do I make sure I broaden whatever I'm feeling right now? How do I broaden those sensory channels? Okay, what am I sensing right now? I'm looking, I can see some people nodding, while I can see some people sitting and wondering what kind of drawing is this. I can observe all of this. Okay, now the first thought that can come to our mind is that, oh, this person is sitting like this means they have not understood anything. And this is the interpretation that we do, right? Now, without interpreting, are you able to share what you are observing for yourself? So the first step is to start noting down, not sharing with the team, just noting down or mentally making notes. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I sensing in the room? Okay, so noticing all of that. Can all of you share one word that you sense when you enter a room, any team room or any space? It could be a family as well. All right. What's the temperament? How's the seating? Very nice. Okay. Energy, yes. Energy. What is it about that energy that you notice? Joy, mood. What mood? What is it about the mood? Vibe, team connections. Okay. Mood. So if there is, it's a happy thing, do you notice? How do you know that somebody how do you sense the mood of people when you walk in? Yes, their eyes, very nice. High vibration, low moderate, okay. What else? Affectionate responses, yes. What else? Eyes smiling, people come in and shake hands with you, come in and greet you, right? So you notice all of that. As a team coach, you know what is happening. You'll also notice there are some people who will be warm, come up to you, some who will sit in one place and just wave out a hello to you, right? So all of that, right? All of this gives you a sense of what is happening to me as I sense this person, as I meet this person. I'm hearing hellos, I'm hearing my name. What's happening? So this directly links to the competency 5 about the perceptual abilities to notice as a team coach. What's happening, what's going on. Now, the second step is, how do I stand naked in front of the data? Means reading the data as is, okay, without interpreting at all. For example, there are 3 people. When I asked a question, 3 people opened mic and spoke at the same time. this is presenting data. Okay, what does it mean? It's saying that this team, it doesn't mean that this team is speaking over each other or anything. Okay, I'm just presenting the data that 3 people opened mic and spoke at the same time. When you're interpreting, you will say this team does not listen to each other. As a team coach, you're going to move away from this team does not listen to each other and stay with 3 people spoke at the same time. Okay, yeah. So as team coaches, the presence requires us to just slow down, making meaning out of what we observed. Okay, and naturally we are very quick at making meaning and jumping to conclusions and saying this is what this is the conclusion, this is the judgment. So we are going to move away from that. Okay, so we'll interpret a little later, or we'll hold our interpretations very lightly. We will not take them seriously. We will just present the data as is. Okay, everyone with me so far? Checking in. Ranga, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Hemangi. Now, what this does is this technique, and I actually did try it out with a few teams to see how does it work. It actually supported me to stay grounded and not and it steered me away from being judgmental about anybody in that team. So I experienced that I was just there and I was just presenting the data, and then there were no need to see how is that person feeling after I'm interpreting the data at that moment, because I just presented it as is. Okay, I'm just going to take a pause to check in. So far, step 1 and step 2. Any questions, thoughts, anything coming up for anybody?
I think collecting the data points also is equally important.
Yeah.
Madhuri. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, being open to collecting the data points is important to use them for coaching further.
Yes, absolutely. So making note of that data point, and that is where the co-coach can play a good role, right? Yes, Geetanjali.
What if we interpret it wrong? Like,
so you don't interpret.
Okay.
Okay, you just present the data as it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What came up for you as you thought about that?
So just, the team spoke together. Yeah. And suppose, you're thinking aloud and you say the team spoke together and it was noisy. Sometimes you just say things. And what if you do that? So how does it then come across? Like,
correct.
Because the standing naked part might at some level have like just a shade. Sometimes it's not intended. So what, like when you do that, and then it also then colors the room that you said it that way. You're not intending. You don't think of things like that.
Yeah.
But it does come across. So what happens then?
So now, if I have to invite you to make a note of this data, presenting this data as is, okay, is making note of this data without the word noisy. How would that look like for you?
I feel like I'm going to rewrite it. Like I'm going to first write the team, spoke together, noisily, and then I will remove my judgment. Like it's a thought again. Like you think again, and then you come back to it.
Yeah. So very nice. Thank you, Geetanjali. So what John Leary has said in this step is that you stand naked in front of the data and just look at that data and make a note of it. Don't interpret it right now. Don't present it right now to the team. The way to present it is in the next steps that's coming up. Okay. So when you are presenting, you will still let go of those judgments. So I would present it just sharing an observation. When this question was asked, I noticed all 3 team members spoke at the same time. Checking in what is it, what happened. Okay. And let the team interpret what they want. Okay.
Okay. So then stay curious.
Yes, it is still staying curious. It is still avoiding all the judgments. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's look at point number 3. Attend the dance, not just the dancers. Any thoughts on what this means? It means that you are not going to be focused on one person in that team. You're looking at how the entire dance is at play. So if there are 4 people, look at it. All 4 are going to dance, and you're going to look at the dance and not just individual dancers within that team. Okay. So we observe the pattern within them. For example, you are observing a team meeting. Which person is speaking first? Who is that person who does not answer at all? Who is that person who's sitting up right up front in a virtual setup? Okay. Who is that person in this team who is challenging? Who's the challenger? Okay. So all this is central for team coaching presence. You are observing all of this, what is happening. And that also means that you're looking at it as a single entity, not just individuals. So all this together, these are patterns that are defining this team, not just that individual person. And collectively, all these patterns are working in service of that team or not. That is the check-in you will do a little later. Okay. I can see some questions here. At what point do the co-coaches provide? Oh, yes. Can I call you Jackie? So Jackie, it is something that you have to have an understanding between the coach and the co-coach. And the coach should bring in a co-coach and check in. Are there any observations from your end? Okay. So there should always be that space and understanding that contracting has to be done before the team coaching session. So instead of feedback, I would say sharing observations is something that they will constantly do. And there has to always be that, transfer of, okay, you share the observations, and when are you sharing observations? When are you facilitating the dialogue? So that dance has to be done very well between the 2 team coaches. Right? Does that help you? Yeah. Is there a maximum number of team members within a team? That could be coach. Very nice question. So as per ICF, if there are 10 team members, then you need a co-coach, okay, with you. So anything more than that, you do need a co-coach. Ideally, if it is 70 and 100 in numbers, that moves away from, you'll have to split them into sub teams and have more co-coaches working with you. Okay. I know there are some people who do team coaching for larger teams, but then you will need some more co-coaches with you. Yeah. All right. Let's look at the model again, and then we'll go back to the questions. Step 4, how to use yourself as a lens. Okay, so you are the team coach. Then this is the most powerful thing for me, okay, because here is the part where Gitanjali said, or Madhavi said, you always have these little curtains with you. Yeah, I am seeing that people are asking questions, and on this point there were at least 10 questions. Presenting this is data. Feeling that the entire team seems to be confused. There are too many questions is the interpretation that has happened. However, are you noticing what is happening inside you? when the data is presented, the coach will not just give all the reactions at once. Okay, that this is there were some internal responses. This happened when you presented this data, that I noticed 10 people spoke. And then there was the leader who came up and presented an entire slide. When that presentation was happening and you noticed the room, what did you feel? Did you feel a tightness inside you? Did your stomach churn as a team coach? Did you feel tense looking at the people? Because that is something that will support you to be curious. Okay, for example, as I listened to the entire handover conversation, I noticed the entire team was smiling, and there were people came forward to know what else they can do. And as I saw this, it also made me feel very light. Now, this is some self-awareness that you have, okay, that you notice. Now, this is in this scenario played back to the team. Because when you play this back, I noticed as your handover was happening, I felt lightness, checking in what was there. And as I played it back, the entire team felt happy. They smiled and they shared that, yes, this is the kind of feeling we have every day when we meet each other, for example. And the reason is XYZ. This is a team learning, which will tell them that within this team, this member making this kind of conversation is helping me, keeping me interested, or the team is ideating. That was one interpretation that came, ideating, creating something, and it keeps me interested. That is presence in action. That is sharing with them for the benefit of that team, because now they are learning something about each other and how the team functions. On the flip side, if you notice that there is some data being presented, and I notice that I'm feeling my breath has become faster, I'm feeling sense of urgency, and I'm just curious, where is this urgency coming in from? Present it as it is. That is using self-awareness, because chances are that there is something happening with the team because of which this you are getting that sense. Okay. I'm taking a pause. I'm looking at the room, checking in any thoughts, anything coming up for anybody so far.
Sometimes,
Sundar? Yes,
Sundar,
Sundar.
sometimes when you are so non-judgmental, don't you um, come across as naive or plain or something like that? Is that can you please give the other side of this, because this is what
No, it's not that you'll always be non-judgmental, Sundar, but the attempt is to reach there. And as a team coach, be aware that there were judgments that came in also at times, because it's not always good. You will never be perfect. You will always have that lens, and hence the co-coach. And after the session, having a reflection with the co-coach that, very honestly, you know what, while this was happening, I did have a bias towards one of that team member. I really like that team member, and he is really somebody who brings in a lot of energy, and calling it out there, so that in the next session you know what is happening. So you're right. It's not always that you will be non-judgmental. However, presenting it to the team to ensure that there is no judgments coming up, for sure. It brought me to the next point on that map, where what's the team coach's dance, which means you are also checking in how the team is receiving you. Is that team trying to please you? And that happened for me in a recent one, where there were a couple of they knew that I was observing the team in their meeting, and then one or two sentences were said so that it would make me happy. as a team coach, so are you noticing that this is happening, or are they depending too much on you? It could also be something that you might notice. Or are they resisting you? They don't like you in coming in the team. They don't like what you bring in. Madhavi?
No, I was just going to add to that. That's all.
Madhavi, we have lost you. Okay, while she comes in, this step of what is the team coach's dance and what you have done from 2, 3, and 4, presenting it back to the team, is that moving in and out of the dialogue, which means I know when I should step back. And my style is that if this team is sitting in a circle, I never sit in the same line. I would sit 2 steps behind, so that I know that I'm part of the system, but I'm not part of the team. So stepping back, okay, and allowing the team to to do all the work, allowing them to interpret, sharing my observations, but also reflecting the patterns that might be useful for them. So that is what step 5 is. And step 6 and 7 is about ensuring how this is Gitanjali, where you present the data. Okay, so where you are going to present it, but you will not interpret it for them again. You will allow them to interpret. You will allow them to make a sense of what was shared. Okay, and then see if there is any intervention required, then only come in. Okay, where you see that after presenting this data, there are 2 people who are at loggerheads, for example, or who have started having an argument or anything. You can come in as a team coach and say, I want to pause this conversation and check in what are you noticing? Um, what is the decision that will help you to move forward? So that is the moving in and out. Okay, let me take a pause on this and let's look at everyone. Yes, thoughts, questions, anything coming up for anyone?
Sorry, I got
Madhuri,
dropped. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no problem. Nidhi and then
uh,
Madhavi. Yeah.
all right, okay, thanks. I was just reflecting on something that you shared, which is allowing the team to interpret their data, which is absolutely fine. You do that in the first. But I am just curious to know that as a coach, since you're out of that circle, you're noticing some things which can be very useful to the team.
Mm.
But are you saying that that is not to be offered at all?
Hmm. You do offer it, Nidhi, but minus all the judgments, minus all the adjectives, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
So what would that look like
So,
if you can share an example?
can you give me an example when a team is at play?
Mhm. For example, a very, very simple thing that you might notice is whether people are getting along or not,
Hmm.
whether there is synchronicity, which means that there is, getting along. Put it very simple.
Okay.
For example, so now this is interpretation in a way because
Yeah.
I am interpreting that, but this interpretation is a lot of value because we are living in a world where uh, how it is landing on the others is also very important. And I'm just thinking aloud. So, my 2 questions. A, do you therefore say that what I am noticing, of course, using a typical model of giving feedback, I use myself a feedback giving model, which is situation, behavior, impact model. All right. So I use that model and then I say the feeling that I have as a result of what I noticed as a behavior. And therefore, that's coming from my lens, but it's a lens which is outside of the team lens. So, what would you say to that? Is this called judgmental, or
So
is this?
what are the ways you come to know that the team is not getting along? What do you observe which tells you that the team is not getting along?
Yeah, so for example, it could be that I know that that is something which I felt, and I'll come to that feeling at the end. But before that, when I talk about behavior, I may say that what I observed is people talking by giving specific names, somebody talking over each other. All right. So when somebody is trying to say something, not allowing the person to finish, and somebody sort of interjecting in between and doing that perhaps, more than once, let us say. All right. And for example, I'm also sort of thinking on the spot right now. And therefore, I may therefore at the end say, depending on what I'm picking up through the body language and other things, because right now we are only using words as a medium of communicating to you or to the group here, but there is a lot more one is picking up through the senses and facial expressions and so on and so forth. So one could therefore bring that in and say that at the end, the impact on me is that I'm getting a feeling that you're not getting along. And
now pause there.
yeah,
And
right.
just tell me, what is it that you are feeling which is telling you that people are not getting along? What is that feeling that is inside you? What are you sensing?
The same thing, the fundamental thing, people talking on top of each other, not allowing somebody to finish
To
the
say that.
statement and talking on top of each other. So,
Present it
and
as it is.
okay,
Okay.
without
Just
getting
say,
into,
yeah,
without
just say,
getting into, without getting into the, so you're talking of step 2, where you're saying, don't give that judgment whether they are getting along or not. You just present the data as it is.
correct. Present the data as it is, what you observed, without adding anything. That what you can do, Nidhi, is that while XYZ was, while this data was getting presented and I looked at the room, I'm sensing a bit of tightness. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to check in. And then allow you. My experience is that people will say, yes, I am also feeling that, because there is a lot of pressure to achieve those sales targets. There is a lot of this that is going on within this is not the target which I want to achieve, or whatever it is. Okay. So it will always be of, let them interpret it, allow them to speak up. The whole idea is creating that open space with your presence, sharing what you're observing, but no judgment. The moment judgment comes in, the openness will go. Okay.
I got that. But I
Yeah.
have a quick question. So you're sitting in a room of these high, very aggressive sales guys, and then
Nidhi,
you talk.
can
Yeah,
I?
yeah,
I've just got a message from my team that we are little. I need to finish this
sure.
slide and then we'll
Sorry.
come to your question answer. Is that okay? I
Sure.
apologize for this. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So this is Nidhi. I think this will also support what you are bringing in. Okay. So the whole facilitation map, you use it in these 7 steps. What you can ask yourself questions are these. Okay. What am I noticing? You're standing with the data, saying what is the fact versus interpretation? What pattern is emerging within this team? What is getting evoked inside me? And how is the team relating to the coach? That is also very important. Okay. That will also tell you if there are any biases which you are carrying or the team is carrying about you. Yeah. And what are the ways you can still further create that open space for them? Which lens will help the team to make sense together? Okay. And what light intervention serves this learning. So just keeping it in the awareness space. In this awareness, in this present moment, what does the team need to be aware of? Where is this the point where I step in, or I just present the awareness and I allow that interpretation to happen? So team coaching number 5 competency is being fully present with the whole system. While it is the system, not just individuals, but it is also helping the team become present. Okay, I'm going to check in with my team. There was a breakout room that we had planned where we were going to practice this. I'm going to share what it is. We were going to put you in. How much time do we have, Darren?
For example, Madhuri, we have more 8 minutes.
8 minutes. So the unlikely that we will be able to do this breakout room. Can I request all of you to take a picture of this and maybe practice observations? What observations I would like you invite you to practice is this. What do I see, hear, or sense when I'm with a team? Okay. What story am I adding? Right? An example is when I was in a team meeting, observing a team meeting, because I knew that this was the third time I was observing the team. I was saying, hey, whoever was presenting, quickly get into the mode of sharing what this event is going to do, who is going to do this event, and who is it for. So, my head was already in a project management mode. So I had to literally pull myself out and say that I'm not supposed to project manage. I'm just supposed to be here and observe. Sundar, that is where it does happen. As individuals, it is very likely that you will tend to go there and you have to bring yourself back. Right? You will also notice what is the pattern that is emerging within that team. Who is that person who's supporting? Who is that person who binds everybody together if there are two people who are opposite each other? Okay. What can I reflect back? So literally during the entire team meeting, I wrote down what was coming up for me, what was happening to me. There was lightness in the heart. I was smiling when 2-3 people were speaking. This is what I saw. I saw 2 people speaking. The third person did not speak. Now, the first thing that will come and I will interpret Nidhi and Sundar, this is what will happen. The third person did not speak means that person is not engaged, is the interpretation that we will do. However, if I just look at it, maybe that person didn't speak for whatever reason. Doesn't mean that they were not engaged and presenting it. Hey, when you were presenting, I noticed X and Y spoke, but Z did not speak. Checking in what happened there. Okay. So writing down all these inferences and then checking in with yourself. What story did I add? I noticed that I felt myself, really coming up and seeing when accountability was getting measured. I came up and I said, is he going to speak about that event or not? Literally, I felt that happening. So these kind of things when presented later on, and we did play it back and play back an image also. I played back an image. I said, while this meeting was going on, it could be a metaphor, it could be an analogy, anything. It felt as though those 4 children who meet in a playgroup or a kindergarten, who meet each other, hold hands, and are just happy being around their favorite person. That is how I felt when I met this team. Or it could be that you feel that you are at the top of the mountain and literally holding each other so that no one falls. Are you even aware of these imageries that are coming to you when you are observing the team? Or are you, so that is being present, or are you allowing yourself to flow with the story and the words that are getting presented only? Okay. So this is the presence in action that we wanted to do. But if you could take a picture and maybe group in sometime, maybe we can do it next time. I don't know. We'll try and kind of do this practice session maybe. All right, I'll take a pause here. Questions, thoughts, anything coming up for anybody? Nidhi.
Me again, if
Yes,
Nidhi,
yes.
okay, please.
Yes, Sundar. Yep, Sundar, go ahead.
Even there are non-verbal cues, that I send out. Okay, and then somebody is very animated as a coach. For example, I'll be quite animated, as a person when I teach or whatever, I actually pace the room quite fast. So, I mean, it's not teaching now; it's coaching. Now it's shifting. But then those things we bring, how much should you really hold back on that on your own persona?
Oh, you are absolutely right. I do that all the time, and it is so difficult because having an expressive face, and it actually people can read me like a book at times. So I do have to practice that grounding before team coaching. But sometimes, Sundar, to be honest with you, if I'm feeling like smiling, I do smile, or if I'm feeling something, you are a human being first. So that humanness is something that I always feel is important to bring in for the service of the team. Yeah. Madhavi and then Charles. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I wanted to quickly answer Nidhi's interpretation earlier. She was talking about how do you offer, how do you offer your whatever you have felt or noticed in the room, and how do you hold it? Holding it back is doing in a way disservice to the team. That I think that's what Nidhi, if I'm right, something you were implying. Am I right there? So.
Yes, in a way, because I think that outside perspective is important to just share as an offering, nothing more. They can choose to interpret it in the way they feel appropriate.
Absolutely. So ICF says again, without taking names. For example, if you see four members in a team of 10 not talking at all, and the other members are taking over or dominating the meeting or the scene in the room. So the coach should offer it as an observation without taking names or mentioning the group of people who are this way or that way. We say that this is what I observed, that some people in the room are this way, some people seem to be doing this. How do you take it? How do you notice it? What's going on here? How can we change it? What are the norms we can establish to change something, because it is, I mean, probably affecting it? What are the effects that you're seeing by some people not being able to express themselves? So we are, as coaches, offer it as an observation from our side, not just our, how it is affecting us as people, but what we are observing as the behaviors in the room, and absolutely offer it to the room. And it also says that we do not let go or ignore those data points. When you have an observation, you are supposed to offer it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Madhavi. Charles?
Yeah, Madhuri, the point I'm making is, I observe that you also would encourage a positive observation, but avoid a negative observation. And I'm curious, does it mean that a negative observation connotes judgment rather than the truth? So, for example, I observed that some of you have not been speaking to one another. All right. That's not a positive observation. Is that judgment?
It is not. Okay. Charles, you can it is also your confidence as a team coach. What is it that you're observing? It also depends on what you're sensing. So I noticed that when this was during this team meeting, okay, there were some people who spoke and some didn't, or some of you did not speak at all. Just checking in, is there anything there? Or what are you, how is the entire team taking this? Or how are you receiving this when I share this as an observation? And then let them check in. Now, chances are that some people will say that, no, it's not like that. And if it's the first two meetings, 100% nobody is going to say that, yes, I am not speaking because I don't like the other guy. No way they're going to say that. They're going to say that, no, there's nothing. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. So it's always good. Yes, Charles, you're right. It's always good to. So it's not just the positive part. It is also whatever you're observing without categorizing it as a positive or a negative. Just present the data as is, and then allow the team to see where they are.
Thank you,
Jack,
Madhuri.
thank you, Jackie. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. So could you help me there?
Yeah, it's Jacques.
Jacques. Yeah, got
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Madhuri,
Yeah.
just a clarification on your process. Let's go back to the beginning of the team session. To what extent co-coaches should get the team to clearly define the objective of the session and their expectations about how the team wishes to behave and end up of the session. Do they just want to achieve something factual without getting into behaviors and et cetera, or so could you clarify the process?
Absolutely. So this is just one part of the process. The actual process would begin at a norm setting stage, where you are now brought in as a team coach, and you are setting norms with the team on how the team would behave, what would they say, where what would they be working towards as a goal, all of that. So when we talk about maintains presence, we are considering all of that is already done in terms of setting norms, working towards a common goal, arriving at or co-creating a journey that will support the team to look at from a future back approach. So say 6 months from now, the team would be, let's say a sales team would have achieved 6 times their what numbers that they are achieving now. They would be working cohesively with each other. There are no there is a fair bit of competition, and they will define those competitions. To arrive there, we need 3 facilitated sessions. We need the team coach to come in and sit in for all our meetings, and also coach the team for say 6 sessions, so once a month. So all that gets defined, and then this begins. Maintains presence happens throughout this journey. Whether it is you're observing the team when you are attending their weekly meetings, or whether you're observing the team when you are co-coaching with your co-coach, or whether you're observing when they are in a facilitated session, when you're still present. So for me, that is how it works. Does that support you, Jack? Okay, thank you. Nidhi? You need to drop off? Okay, yeah. We'll catch up on some other Tuesday learning session. I know it's about time, and we are over time rather. And there is a link that our team has shared. Please click on the link to receive your CCEUs. I'm still here while you are filling up the CCU forms. The room has become very dark, so I'm just checking in. Have I lost everyone, or y'all are still there?
We're still here, Madhuri.
Okay, thank you,
Yes,
Charles.
we
Thank
are.
you for that. Okay. Takeaways, feelings. How are you all feeling about this session? I'd love to hear some voices.
I think we should continue next time
We
to
should
try
continue.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
try it.
Okay.
Because I think team coaching is something you can only observe through doing, and it's so, like you're talking about, it's so data driven and not one to one. So I think that would be nice.
Sure. Let's try this out. Darren and Chaitanya, I'll need your help to have a part 2 of this session. Everybody will try this out in rooms, and then we'll come back and share reflections. Would that work? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how communities of practice is something I'm inviting everybody to run. Come in, read something, learn something, and share it with the community. Let's all learn together. That is the whole idea. So we'll practice. We'll come back with maybe next Tuesday or whenever Darren figures out a date. We'll come back. Thanks, Gitanjali.
Thank
What else?
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Durga, Deepak, Vasu,
refresher on maintains presence, although it was related to teams, but for me it was like a refresher. Thank you so much, Madhuri.
Thank you. Thank you. I see a lot of team coaches now. In my window, I couldn't see many. Raman, I can see now. Shoma. Bharat, nice to see you as well. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.